Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling coherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Disco Elysium Blind. Now, before I go to bed, I would like to read my ledger because there are all of those case descriptions that I haven't read, and there's also a secret compartment in the ledger. So let's open it and get to it.
It's the ledger you found in the trash, a cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
I'll read a case file.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
The next word mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lecturers have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Wait, do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Now, I think it is wrong. As I said, I consider graffiti to be a kind of vandalism. Like, you're essentially using public property or someone else's property, in this case, as your private canvas, which I think is wrong, regardless of the merit of your actual art. Because it would be stupid if we judged it on the merit of art, because obviously everyone has a different opinion on that. Some people might think it's profound and good and well made, and others might think it's trite and pointless. So that's not a good basis to base laws on. Like, imagine if things would not be a crime because you did a specific thing, but they would be a crime regardless of how well you did it. Like, if you performed a super great advanced robbery, people would be like, yeah, but that guy has serious skill. Yeah, maybe, but you should, if that's the case, you shouldn't be employing it in the service of breaking the law. Like, if you're a really good artist, just, just make art and sell it and become famous or whatever, but not do it on public property. Remove the mural, it is wrong.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
to be honest, again, for me, it's irrelevant what it says. It's irrelevant whether I agree with what it says. I just think it shouldn't have been made in this way. I must have voted and possibly even lobbied to remove the thing, because I don't believe in that rubbish one bit.
No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
The unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration.
I wonder if this is a reference to Planescape Torment. You know, you cannot change the nature of a man. I don't know, it just made me think of it, because obviously what can change the nature of a man is a very sort of core question for the Planescape Torment game.
The only way for Leslie to stop displaying his genitals and for Burke to stop attacking things would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Well, I imagine it's public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slammed the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore.
I'm not sure if that's good news. I've just crippled the man.
Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Okay, to be honest, that's pretty dark. I have crippled the man for life. And then, it's some pretty serious police brutality there. And I escaped responsibility simply because the other police officers found those particular people so annoying that they were happy to have them off their hands. The square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But?
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
A sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. At an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They actually looked like assholes.
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
The murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Right. On with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Was he a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high off of it? I actually don't think so.
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I guess when pushed, I would say it's more stupid than it is cool, but really I am indifferent to it.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor. in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next.
Okay, that's all of them.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Okay. Let's try... Though, is there an interfacing? There is. So, you know what? I will actually... padlock door. Okay, I'll just try it. And if I fail, because I can retry it, right? It's white? Yeah. If I fail, I'm going to put another point into it. Open the hidden compartment.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee, slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there, too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Oh, okay. So that smell reminds me of someone close to me.
Exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
Well, I do want to know what it says. Is it a breakup letter from like my ex?
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar distancing.
Okay, so actually it's even worse than the breakup text, because this is a letter from someone that used to love me. And I guess we either broke up after that for some other reason, or she's dead. Which either case, it just sucks, because you have this constant reminder of how good you've had it for at least a while. It must hurt like a bitch to read something like that after it's all over.
You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
Wait, did I just die? What's going on? At the very least, I guess I lost consciousness, but it's a bit weird how it flashes the title here.
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery. Just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that stuff. What is it?
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Thought gained. White morning. Was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it seems it was pretty beautiful. At least for a time.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
So when my name appears to be Harry?
Your name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry.
Then what is it?
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
There was something about a bow collector?
Yeah, man. What was that about?
Just lay there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is it? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
The lieutenant is extending a small canister to your mouth. Man, Kim is such a good guy. You're back?
No drink.
Drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Actually, beer and cider have loads of water in them.
You know, in the Franco-Nigerian centuries, the quality of water was so bad it was sometimes more hygienic to drink beer, which is incidentally, I think, true of the real Middle Ages.
But these are not the Franco-Nigerian centuries. We are in the present. It is safe to sometimes drink water here.
He hands you the canister. Drink.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
Well, I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
The ledger of failure and hatred. He hands you the remains of your ledger.
He replies with such understanding, it's as if the burnt-out ruins of the past were an occupational hazard. Athlete's foot for cops.
I found this next to you. I'll tag along for the rest of the day, if you don't mind. My business is concluded anyway. Are you okay to go?
Let's solve the case.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
What does it give me? -2 authority. You know what? I am alright with that. I don't really care about threatening people that much. So that's a cool bonus as far as I'm concerned. But I also have new thoughts. Guillaume Le Million. No, I'm already thinking about that. The Bow Collector. Sparks fall like snow from the collectors of this, from the Bow Collector of the streetcar number 42. Slowly down the slope from the Voyager Road and then east on the B206 across the river to where there are no closed factories or ruins to study. At the academy, electrical cables run overhead and the Bow Collector draws across them like a musical instrument. A flash, she's standing at the rear window, holding onto the rail, in a spring coat waving at you. I am going to think about it because it seems pretty important to my past. What about this? White morning. You see yourself from above. You've passed out on the blue tiles of the hotel room floor. Even from this distance you can see your eyelids flutter. At the mention of what? A great white object letting out its sweet smell like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. The feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches for that feeling's... best friend, a bottle of Commodore Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. And let's think on that as well. I still haven't... Okay, I guess technically I still haven't gone to sleep. So I guess I will do that. And see you in the morning.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it.
Go to sleep.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
Okay, I'm back. So, I'm sorry, Cells. It's all me. It's my fault.
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
Well, I think I might need medical attention.
Oh, yes. They'll check you out, give you some pills, make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes and stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Well, just get me out of here then. Back to the other place.
Oh, baby boy, you're already in the other place. There's no nourishment for you tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe if you took a lot of drugs before you go to sleep, that'd do the trick.
Go to bed, electrochemistry. You're clearly drunk. And probably high.
Maybe if you cracked the damn thing, then you'd feel satisfied and tired, holding the picture puzzle in your hands, complete. Maybe if you weren't so hard on yourself.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
The door is closed. Still nothing. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Good morning. Good morning to you too, Kim. Anything new?
Can I help you?
I don't think so. What about you?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Okay, she can tell me about cryptids, which I think I will try again.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
She sounds glad to see you. And tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
No, I do want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially. Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
He sighs.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
Her face lights up at the thought of it. So what's so special about this stick bug then?
Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
The woman's face flushes with embarrassment.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
I am going to put a point into suggestion. Because it's suggestion, right? Yes.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
No, you don't have any new winning tactics to get the woman to spill the beans about cryptids.
Oh, for the love of God! All right. I am a little salty about that, but no. That's how dice work.
You look like shit.
Your ruffled face reflects in the man's sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Well, the last couple of days have been rough.
Oh, don't be so modest. We're looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
He scans you from head to toe.
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar, but different face. He might be wearing a disguise.
Something strange about this guy. Figure it out.
You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
And tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
From where?
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
41st?
Okay, that's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere.
He gives you a long, meaningful look and adds,
Somewhere good.
well, let's talk more about that hypothetical Station 41 you mentioned.
Okay.
The hypothetical 41. Yeah, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy, you're not busy, let's just play around. So what would our relationship be in that alternative universe?
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Yeah, to be honest, Kim is most likely cooler than you. Like, Kim's an all-around stand-up guy. Like, he has been dealing with a lot of shit. He has been remarkably cordial given my overall state of affairs. And he's been nothing but polite and professional all the time. Kim's cooler than you.
I'm sure he's fucking flattered. But Kim is not part of this thought experiment. In this one, we're partners.
The lieutenant is silent.
Like partners in crime, or?
No, because in this thought experiment, we're all police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on, stop it.
Well, do you have a crime to solve?
Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
She says, shaking her head and looking at the man with sunglasses disapprovingly. Who else is in our imaginary police station?
You're not going to believe this, but... police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lung.
Who is the far-out son of Lung?
Oh, it's you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you.
He winks at you sarcastically. Want to tell me more about him, or her?
Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by this sunglassed man. Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that.
I can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
His eyes suddenly flash above the frames. They feel sad.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
In cool shades, are you wearing a disguise?
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
He looks at you inquisitively.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening though. Who is this guy?
Kim, who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
He shakes his head.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize them.
Got some questions for you. I'm a cop.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like?
Like a man down on his luck. I'm trying real hard here, man.
Oh, well, go solve your case then. That would count as trying hard.
Will you answer some questions for me?
No.
He says calmly, then just keeping staring at you. Why not?
'Cause it's not my job. Why don't you go and fucking do yours and solve this damn hanging?
Well, if you don't want to answer questions, maybe you want to hear me say things.
Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
I'm doing an investigation and it turns out he was shot and hanged.
You think he was hanged as a cover-up? To hide the shooting?
Yeah, to be honest, That is a good point. Why am I telling you this? I don't even know. Like, are you guys cops currently? The rectangles would sort of substantiate that, but what the hell? If you're involved, basically yes.
Okay, well.
He collects his blonde wig. I mean his hair. Hey, why am I telling you this?
I don't know. Why are you?
Maybe because I'm stupid. Because obviously you might be involved.
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even? Strange. Who knows why we do the things we do? Somehow bouncing those ideas off the man with sunglasses felt calming. Like you've done it before.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
Yeah, I guess nothing.
Watch out for yourself, loser.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right?
A little weird, maybe.
There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. But still.
I was thinking the same thing. I should just ask him if we're from the same station. Yeah, obviously, the hypothetical was in itself theoretical. It was a joke. It was a hypothetical that was true, right? That's how I read it.
Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Are we from the same police station?
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Okay.
Okay?
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again.
Well, you know, I just don't remember, so... They do seem to be cops.
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
Are you a cop with the RCM?
Yes, I am.
I am a cop too.
I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere. But if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
I'm on the murder investigation. Are you guys the cavalry?
I'm definitely not the cavalry.
Is everything all right? Why don't you want to talk to me?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
Well, have I wronged you? It seems I've done that to a lot of people.
No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay.
She shakes her head and breathes out.
Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
So are we from the same police station?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
She looks at you apologetically.
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Well, it is, and it's a little weird. I can't mention the fact that I've lost my memory. Are you with him? Points to the man with sunglasses. That's a stupid question. So what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
She just sighs.
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
The sunglass-wearing man pushes through his teeth.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, probably. If they are my former partners, it would be very obnoxious to, quote-unquote, pretend that I don't know them. But obviously, I don't actually know them because I've lost my memory. So, you know. Oh, it's you guys again.
let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
I'm no trouble. I'm here to do my job, that's all.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardie, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
Are you Lizzie Elizabeth, Miss Beaufort?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardie.
She points to the tall man by the table.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stands. In her face.
Easy Leo told me about you. He likes to talk a lot.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
What's your role in all of this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
Just dock workers? Do dock workers spy on the police? We let you off easy, miss. Don't think it will happen again.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Yeah. All of those responses are... Like, I don't think it's cool and funny. I just think the coalition for once is not shooting anyone in the head, which the communists and the royalists somehow couldn't manage. You know, they killed millions of people. So, yeah, let's do that.
Let's.
Her expression stifles. What if I want to talk to you?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
Okay, I should talk to Titus then. I guess I might get it over with.
Behind the dock workers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows outside.
It's not time yet.
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. You're not so sure about that. Somehow you just know there's something out there, behind the glass.
There's something out there.
Yeah, your mother.
It's not a very good mother joke, but the room still laughs. Something about those mother jokes just works.
It's apparently not yet time, so...
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you, maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
We need to talk about the man hanging out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
He looks to Titus for approval.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man, in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s, early 40s. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock Quarter. There were incarcerations, hard to say what else. And then, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46, the big dick, wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips, rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardie, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
And the little guy?
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is absent. The other soul?
Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardie boys are involved in the drug trade as well?
This would fit with what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now is a good time to hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardie?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Titus is staring at you with his head tilted. Guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, Do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
No, do the honor. You've earned it. Kim is absolutely cool, so nod at the lieutenant.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Yes, but that just sends everyone else to Jamrock, doesn't it?
Well, first of all, you've just diverted the float with Jamrock. You've made it our problem.
We haven't done anything, but theoretically, it has to be someone's problem, so it might as well be yours.
He takes a sip of his beer and smiles.
Titus, I'm amazed. Where is the same professionalism when it comes to other topics? You're doing great. I hardly have to interfere at all.
I don't know, Lizzie. I guess theoretical things don't make me emotional. Now, was there anything else? I was sorta gonna get my brewski on.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardie. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardie boys here.
And the 8th Hardie, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right?
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardie. I run this goddamn scene.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
The little man raises his index finger excitedly.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
I found 8 set of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where is the 8th Hardie boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardie boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardie boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
What a stupid guy.
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardie boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardie boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. In.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardie sooner or later.
The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
He takes a sip from his can.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why are your boot prints all over the scene?
You mean these boots?
He raises his worker boot, size 46, steel reinforced toe. Yes.
We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck. Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
So you just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
You murdered him just like that? No remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Well, what we do is different. We enforce the law. You just kill people like it's nothing.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
This isn't something he came up with on the spot. It's his standard reasoning, a product of many years of being Titus Hardie.
Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardie boy without arresting all Hardie boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
I don't have to. One of them was more complicit than the others.
That's for the courts in Les Jardins to decide. Not for the officer making an arrest. Which we all know you won't be. What you can do right now is go back to your station and write a report.
No. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night.
When did that hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long have you known him?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two. Because he knows the company is responsible for bringing the mercenaries into town.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hired merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes spittle from his mouth.
From rape to harassment, to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation? He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
He shakes his head with disbelief. Was this the same girl who you said was sexually assaulted, raped, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot.
There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Right, but who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's a moment of silence.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
I'm going to ask for one last time. Who did the dead man rape?
Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't need more embarrassment.
What are you talking about? Embarrassment. If someone has been sexually assaulted, we need to...
What you need is to get the fuck out of my face. I've had enough of explaining myself to you fucks. He's dead. It's done.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil, but...
What follows is a slow headshake.
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
How does the bullet... Or I guess first, how did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
He looks even more irritated than before.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
The tattooed one speaks up, banging on his chest.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Composure. Can I add? I can't. Okay. I will try it though. Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But...
who's cracking under pressure? This one is sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They have smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Hey you, turn to the big guy. You're having trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few cold locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
The man next to the guy just burst out laughing.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out?
My fucking elbow, Copper. Samaran boxing style.
Samaran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves, originating from the Samaran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details.
Where did all of this take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man, weren't you listening?
There's something you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
I have other questions.
Like what, Copper?
How does the bullet in his head factor into this?
Huh?
A sip of beer makes the surprise go down easier.
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was it there if you hanged him?
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
Another sip. He's tight-lipped suddenly.
Interesting, sire. It's as if he's lying to protect someone. He's not very good at it.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem. This will not turn into a cross-examination.
This was a good move. Also, notice how Titus doesn't like her much, especially when she's calling the shots.
I don't think I can take them. There's 8 of them and only 2 of us, and we only have 1 gun, because obviously mine's missing. So, what are we going to do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
You still haven't explained the bullet I found in the hanged man's head.
You still on about that bullet? A bullet in a hanged man's head. You're right, Copper. That is mighty curious.
Indeed, mighty. How did it get there?
The lieutenant is fixed on Titus.
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to ask you again. Why was this in the victim's head?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Well, I think the hanging was cover-up for the shooting.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, They don't like you knowing this.
Did you guys shoot him?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him?
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
Don't worry, we'll figure this out sooner or later.
Never been worried in my life, Lawman.
He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment.
It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
I want to talk about the hanging again. I'm not sure if telling them that is going to help me in any way. I have zero authority, which is a bit of a problem. I'll be back to this, maybe. Okay, so the water lock should be repaired at this point, right? Do I have anything to sell? Just this.
Officer, God damn it. Pull yourself together, René. What do you want?
René, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The booth has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before, René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
So it doesn't matter if you're there or not?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too. To be honest, it would be good to have some kind of a sort of activization program that would involve the elderly in the job market, because obviously that would help them support themselves better and also possibly help the economy by them doing part of the job. So we need a program.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Composure. Okay, I might be back to this at some point. Oh, there's some new guys here. But I can't talk to them. So were you just fixing the...
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Well, but there might be evidence on the other side. For example, the car. It might literally be mine, so... But this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save. And end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.